Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. This is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I was looking through story after story after story tonight, and I collected a few of the headlines that I'm going to put up in another video. But this particular one kind of bugged me. I'm just going to jump right into it and get this recording here. And it's a giant billboard in London encourages women to cheat on their husbands. Married to one man while fantasizing about another, it says, and it's directly targeted at women. The poster, which is located near Westminster Bridge, shows photos of Trump, Melania Trump, and Justin Trudeau. Melania's turned away from Trump and looking at Trudeau. Married to one man but fantasizing about another, you need to try Evita.com, created by women for women to have discreet affairs. Can you imagine reversing this? Guys married to one woman but fantasizing about another, come here to find secret affairs. Media would have a field day. But this one's okay. There's just nothing wrong with it. Why? Because you're disposable. And when it comes to the dating scene now, there was an article I had opened up. I don't think I do anymore. But it was about how many people... Oh, here it is. I think I got this right here. Yep. How many Tinder matches is normal to have at once? Women get real about their numbers. I'm not going to read the article, but here's the point. This woman has 59 on matches. She says she's matched with a bunch, but she doesn't bother talking with them. And I only talk, let's see right here. I'm actively talking to 12 people. Of those 12, I've been out with 2. We'll see. Blah, blah, blah. This one has 1,600 on Tinder and 200 on Bumble. 15 and 10, which is, a pretty low number. But she says right here, I have 15 matches and a ton of expired ones. I get really overwhelmed. If I've been active, I'll be swiping match every time and literally have to stop swiping because I get too many matches. 720 on Tinder. This one has 30, but she just got back into it. I met on Bumble a week ago. I have 8 matches. The rest are expired. See, so they go on there and they swipe away, and then when they get a match with a guy, they don't even bother communicating. And they just let them time out. Because on Bumble, the women has to message first. 680 on Tinder, 658 on Tinder. So, but my point of this is that when it comes to dating, you're disposable. That's all there is to it. She can toss you aside and go find somebody else very easily. Doesn't mean she'll find somebody of your quality or your caliber, but she can find somebody else. And with so many others to choose from, statistically, there's not much risk in letting you go. If you're married, same thing. They're now advertising, if you're tired of him, come on over and you can quietly go behind his back on our website. You can keep him for the money, have your fun behind his back. And if even if he catches you half the time, you can still win alimony and child support. So you'll win again. Men's disposable. When it comes to war, men are disposable, right? Now, yes, women can join the military, but they're never put on the front lines anymore, and they're not engaged in direct combat. They of course, we haven't used the draft in forever, so it's probably a moot point, but nonetheless, they're the only ones that can be, or we're the only ones that can be drafted, right? When it comes to jobs anymore, they're now making slots specifically for women. In the UK and in Australia, it's a lot worse than it is here in the United States for men, but even here in the States, we're making it mandatory to have females on staff positions in the CEO or on boards of company, not the CEO, but on boards of company, that they have 1 as a slot open now, and they're hoping to have 2 mandatory by the end of this year. Again, we're disposable. Women will not do the dangerous jobs. And again, I'm not saying all, but I'm saying a large portion. There are very few female firefighters. There are very few female police officers. And as they grow, the problem is they're not as strong or as able to handle bad situations as well as men are. It's just a physical situation, as long as it's less than deadly violent. Then if it does get to that point, women can draw a gun. When you look at lumberjacking and oil rig and the power line industries and all the truly dangerous jobs, again, mostly men. Why? Because they'll do the risk for the reward of the extra money, but if they didn't do it, no one would. They're disposable. When it comes to being fathers now, it's the same thing. There's actually, and now when it comes to being a father, there's websites that will actually advise women on number one, how to become a mother without him knowing. Number two, if she's actually done that, the guy's on the hook. He's on the hook. There's nothing he can do about it. Number three, if he does want to keep it and she doesn't, he has no say. Number four, if it is his and he does decide he wants to stay in the child's life, but he's not allowed to because she says so, he's relegated to just writing checks. So when you look at everything that is combined, we are just absolutely disposable. But what does that mean? How does that lead us to change our lives or how to live our lives the best way that we can? I would say number one is you're going to always have to look out for yourself first. Now, it sounds very callous, and a lot of times in relationships, I know most of you guys aren't dating anymore, but a lot of times we're always told to protect and to look out for the loved ones and for women and for children. But now it's one of those situations where you're going to have to look out for yourself first. Yes, it is a detriment to society, but that's just the way you need to look at it. If you see a woman stranded on the side of the road and she's trying to fix her tire, you may need to pass by. There was a gentleman that stopped and helped a woman for 2 hours trying to help her fix her car, and she later accused him of doing wrong things. It ruined his marriage, and it cost him several tens of thousands of dollars in court, only to be proven innocent. And what was her punishment? Nothing. Absolutely no punishment at all. And then I have another photo here that I'll snap in here for you guys. Let me bring it up when I find it. Here's another one here. Secretary who stole nearly 1.2 million pounds from her property tycoon boss and used it to splash out on a fleet of luxury cars said thank you so much as a judge spared her jail. So, when they are allowed to break the law and they can get away with it, and the gentleman whose money she stole he gets no justice. Now he'll recuperate some of it because they're forcing her to sell the vehicles and such. But she got off lightly with a suspended sentence and 250 hours of community service. Again, when you just start stacking all these things, you just have to look out for yourself first, by far. Number two, if you are younger, or again, if you're going to change careers, like I've said before, you're going to have to perhaps look into something that is male-dominated. That is, you're not going to be in a situation where you could be in a little bit of trouble for being in a position where you could be blamed for something that you are innocent of. With the way things are set up now, if someone simply accuses you of something, most companies, that's enough for them to let you go. Because if they don't, there's been companies that have been sued for not taking enough action on someone when there's been an accusation made. So now it's a situation where you have to say, I don't feel comfortable with this. I need to find a job where I'm not going to be put into this situation. That's basically going to get rid of a lot of the indoor, a lot of the air-conditioned, a lot of the comfortable jobs. Now, there are jobs, you can do network engineering, you can do computer work, you can do those from home or from your own private office. But other than that, and again, I'm not telling you what you have to do, but these are things that you need to start considering, seeing how quickly things have gone just in the last 4 or 5 years. If this continues at the almost exponential rate that it's going now, I can't even imagine if you're going to make a change of graduating college or finishing one job and looking into another, what this is going to be like in another 3 to 5 years. Now, there may be a politically, the PC backlash. There may be a huge snapback because of this, and things return back to normal, and even more so than before, but I don't see that anytime soon. It just doesn't give me a confident feeling on this. So little by little, I just see that men are disposable, that we're being cast out, that we're a second class, I guess you'd call it person now, or a citizen. And you're going to have to start looking for ways to adapt to this. And my way is again, as many of you know, is just hopping on a bus and maybe finding some remote work. And that way I'm kind of like a gypsy or a nomad while I travel around the country. But, at some point, I think this is something you need to consider, because otherwise you might be in for a world of hurt here in another few more years, We're already getting pinched pretty hard as it is. Guys, I'll leave it there. I just wanted to put a quick one out for you this evening. If you'd like to support my work, links are below as always. And the best way you can support me is to like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe. Again, only about 65% of you are still not subscribed, which means only about 35% of you are subscribed. Guys, I'll leave it there. This is Better Bachelor. I am Joker. And remember, the wise warrior becomes a hermit.